Annika. Great to see you as always. We're going to wait and see who's going to hop on. Today we're going to be talking about Neptune in Aries. We're going to be talking about the solar eclipse in Aries. We're also going to be talking a little bit about the end of Kali Yuga, the dark age. Many say that Neptune in Aries is ushering in this golden age. So there's a whole lot to unpack here. Perhaps we'll get a chance to pull some cards. We don't really know until we get going. I was looking forward to maybe trying this on my computer today, but I don't know if you can only live stream on your phones now. I'm not really sure. It kept just saying waiting for mobile stream to begin. So maybe it's because I set it up on my phone to begin with. Who knows? We're on the phone. We have a great connection moving forward. We're setting that powerful intention that only those who are aligned with this energy and these messages and will benefit from receiving what is being offered on this stream today will find this stream and interact with this stream, holding each other in our highest, here to share in the beautiful energy, all of the activations, all of the information and the wisdom that is going to be shared by all of our higher selves, by source energy today, as we talk about all the craziness that is going on. How is everybody doing? That's what I want to know as we're getting started here. Mercury retrograde just began a couple days ago with that lunar eclipse. It's been nuts. I don't know how you guys are doing. I've definitely been feeling the irritability from time to time. I had a crazy day the day after the eclipse, or no, the day of the eclipse, actually. Let me know how you guys have been navigating and what's been going on for you. Hello, Kiana. Yes, I know, you're right at the beginning. That's awesome. Hello, Dee. Welcome. Making ginger tea. I love that. Thank you for the reminder to keep drinking my nettle tea here. Yeah, surviving and thriving. There we go. It is gorgeous today. It's always gorgeous on the days where I have help with my son and I have a lot of stuff that I want to get done, like in the house. So I'm like looking out the window, like it's probably actually, no, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say this is probably the only nice day. It looks like the only nice day we're going to get for the next week and a half, but that might not be true. We speak our reality into being. So I'm going to say this is one of many, many nice days that we have lined up here. I will be going out and just basking in some of that sunshine in a little bit here. Definitely helps when you at least get like a little bits of that sunshine coming through. Spring is a really powerful time, right? And we are, of course, not talking about, well, we are kind of, because the eclipse and Neptune entering Aries, this is going to be at the end of the month. So the equinox is on the 21st, right around the time that we have the Venus star point, Venus conjunct the sun in the sign of Aries. So it's going to be a very intense and powerful time. And then we're really going to be feeling that energy moving through those springtime vibes, that thawing, that rebirthing energy as we move into that solar eclipse. And as we move into Neptune in Aries, I've been doing tons of research on Neptune and Aries, really getting myself familiar with these energies and these themes. This is big, you guys. This has not happened since 1861. All right, Neptune is roughly a 164-year cycle, which means we are completing a 164-year cycle, because remember, yes, there is the transit of Neptune through each sign of the zodiac, but Aries begins a brand new cycle through all 12 signs. All right, so that's a larger cycle of energy that is being completed right now. There are some astrologers who have gone back 164 years from 1861. What did that look like? You know, but still, like in modern history, where some of this is a bit of a learning curve. We have some like recorded history, at least what they tell us happened, to kind of look back on. As much as we can believe that, right? But there's still only so much that we know. So this is a big, big deal. And I'm really excited for it. I'm excited to share with you some of the themes and the energies that I've been sensing, as well as some of the things that I've been learning about Neptune and Aries. We do have, like I said, we have some cycles where we have at least some recorded history to look back on as we've been moving through. And there's a lot of uprisings that occur with Neptune within the sign of Aries, a lot of unrest. In the United States, we have talked a little bit about how it was the Civil War was going on the last time that Neptune was in Aries in the United States. And there were other uprisings going on around the world around this time as well. We also saw, I do believe during Neptune and Aries, I do believe that was the abolishment of slavery in the United States, at least one form of slavery, right? We're not going to go down that whole rabbit hole, but we're going to say the most obvious form of slavery was abolished in favor of more insidious types of enslavement of all peoples. Yeah. And that's what we're coming up against right now. As we come through this resurgence of this energy is really looking at those areas of where it is that we are free. And I think it's really fitting that we have the first retrograde of Neptune in the sign of Aries beginning on Independence Day, the 4th of July in the United States. So that's pretty wild stuff. I'm going to go over all of those dates with you guys. And I'm actually going to do that right now. I see Annika hard at work already. Love you so much. I fucking appreciate you so much. I'm going to go over these dates with you guys right now before we get into more of the nuts and bolts of this energy so that we have those. And hello, Kat. Oh, it looks like somebody who is fond of our beautiful dear Annika here in the chat. I love that. It looks like we might have a reunion taking place. So, as we were saying, we're going to go over some of these dates here. And we're going to pay attention because this 0 degrees of Aries point is a big, big point of energy because next year in, I believe, I want to say it's January or February. Let me look this up here. Whether it's February 26th. Yep. February 2026, we have Saturn and Neptune conjunct at 0 degrees of Aries. That's going to be a massive energy. So we're warming up to that right now when we have Neptune hitting that 0 degree of Aries point. What's interesting about this is that Neptune is really hanging out with Mercury here, who's in retrograde. Neptune's actually hanging out with Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde, which is particularly fascinating. And I always think it's interesting when we're looking at cycles and when we're looking at retrogrades to pay attention to what's going on when the planet stations retrograde. And the same is true when a brand new cycle begins, when an ingress into a new sign begins, to pay attention to what's going on. So the fact that Neptune's been very active with the North Node. So there's been that activation of soul purpose, that remembering of different aspects of our soul identity, our soul mission. It's been a really beautiful realignment, recalibration energy. We've also had Saturn on the outskirts of that. A bit earlier within the sign of Pisces, and Saturn obviously is going to keep moving through. Saturn's going to enter 0 degrees of Aries on May 24th, 25th of this year, and then have its own retrograde cycle, and then move back into Aries again and meet up with Neptune at that 0 degree of Aries points, the ultimate birthing point. Any 0 degree point is called an Aries point. It's looked at as a birthing degree, but when it is in the sign of Aries, that's an ultimate birthing point. So this is big energy. So we're birthing, and then we're having like this massive birth, if you will. How would we say that? It's sort of like this is the birthing, but it's almost like I don't want to say like labor, like false labor, because it doesn't feel like that. It definitely feels like a powerful birthing of something, but a full birthing of that energy, or like a deeper level of that birthing. Okay, this is interesting. So the analogy that's coming through now is sort of like the christening, right? Like you have a child, there's the birth, and then say, I'm thinking of like baptism in Christianity. I don't know why that's particularly is what's coming through here with Saturn and Neptune in Aries when they meet at that birthing point again. It's the new paradigm. That's when the new paradigm is fully birthing. Right now we're having these, this is like the buildup of that energy, the teaser almost, if you will. I know that was a lot of like a whole fucking torrent of metaphors that I just threw at you guys. Hopefully some of that makes like aligns with you or resonates with you. But this time, so Saturn's on the outskirts right now. They're going to be closer and closer, and they're going to be dancing around each other much more closely throughout a good chunk of 2025 before they meet together in February 2026 for that ridiculous conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries. And that's when I think we're really going to see, when we're talking about this energy of uprisings around the world, when we're talking about overthrowing governments, all this crazy shit, the division. And why is this? Why is this that we see this with Neptune and Aries? Neptune represents the collective. All right. So whatever sign Neptune is in shows where the collective energy and mindset is at. So the collective energy and mindset is in Aries. It's that Mars energy. All right. It's that individualistic energy. It's that energy of independence. It's that don't tread on me, to use an American phrase, right? That's the energy of Aries. So it makes sense that we see this happening. So I think if there's going to be a major uprising, it's probably going to occur around the time of that Saturn, because Saturn's restriction, right? Saturn is oppression. Saturn can be some of these energies. Saturn is also, from an ascension point of view, the planet that helps us to master the third dimension and tap into these higher, more quantum realities. We think about Uranus as the quantum gatekeeper, but Saturn, in a lot of ways, is teaching us about it's like we said, it's the mastering of the 3D reality. And we do that through tapping into the quantum. So Saturn, in its own way, is connected to the quantum. And what I found really interesting, as I was doing research for all of us, myself included, to do this video, was the fact and the reminder that Saturn was, sorry, you guys. Saturn was once the ruler of Aquarius as well. And Saturn was also the planet that represented the bounds before Neptune was discovered. So Neptune now represents the boundary between what is known and what is unknown, because it's the outermost planet. But in ancient astrology, Saturn was the outermost planet. So Saturn, at one point, that's why Saturn represents boundaries, right? But it also represented sort of the connection to whatever lies beyond. So Saturn was more of a mystical planet. There was more to Saturn than just the 3D reality. When Saturn was first, or when astrology was first going, before we had the capability of recognizing these outer planets. Praksha says, let's go to Mars. I think we will during Neptune and Aries, right? It makes sense. Mars is ruled by Aries, and Neptune is that nebulous energy. There's a lot of exploration. There's a lot of pioneering energy within the collective that goes on when we have a collective planet in the sign of Aries. So this would be the perfect time for us to go to Mars, or we could say return to Mars, because I think that we've been there already. I think there are still beings inhabiting Mars, perhaps in a different dimensional frequency that we can't register or see. But it'll be interesting to see if we start having communications with those or any other beings. I think there's going to be a lot of new frontiers that are explored within consciousness and within our understanding of consciousness as we move into this Neptune in Aries energy. And it's so hard to decide where I want to go with this, because there's so much to talk about here. We're gonna complete the thoughts of the eclipse first, and this energy coming in and dawning. Hello, Alex. And then we're going, hello, David. And then we're gonna delve more into the themes of Neptune and Aries. So we have Saturn, who's now a bit further away, but still connected. We have had Neptune connected to the south, or to the north node rather, aligning us with our purpose, helping us to remember our soul's mission, activating ancient templates and wisdoms within us, especially with the synergy of that south node in Virgo, which speaks to past lives, which speaks to our genealogy, which speaks to all of these magical, mystical things. Virgo is the energy of the priest or the priestess. So there's a lot of that beautiful energy going on here. And now we had Venus move through Pisces into Aries, now retrograding back. So when we have this eclipse on the 29th, it's really opening this window of energy where Neptune is essentially being reborn within the sign of Aries to begin a brand new 164-year cycle, we have now Venus at 28 degrees. So Venus in that conjunction with the North Node, Neptune moving almost during this eclipse, like getting down to the seconds before she moves or he moves, they move into Aries. And we have Mercury retrograde at 0 degrees of Aries, at that 0 degree point where Saturn and Neptune are going to meet in February of 2026 and really complete this birthing process. So this is really big, having Mercury here. And Mercury and Neptune are going to be swapping energies here. So Mercury is going to move from 0 degrees of Aries the next day after the eclipse to 29 degrees of Pisces, while we have Neptune moving from 29 degrees of Pisces to 0 degrees of Aries. And there's this powerful reprogramming that's happening here. And remember, Mercury and Venus retrograde have been a reprogramming in and of themselves. We've been building that heart-mind coherence. So reprogramming the mind to be more synergistically aligned with the heart. And now Neptune is aligning that within all levels of our consciousness and on a collective level. So this is really, really big stuff. And this is our energy body. This is everything being downloaded, activated, and aligned and brought up into a higher resonance, into a higher frequency. And this is happening on a cellular level within us. This is also happening on a collective level, not just within our human collective, but within the planetary sphere as well. So this is a big activation, a big awakening of energy. And I think we're going to see some really powerful shifts happening as it's like you can feel like these energetic rumblings, right? And it's simplistic to say things like that, Kat. That Taurus doesn't get along with Aries. It depends on the Taurus and the Aries and what else they have in their charts. And also how spiritually evolved they are, right? They can, but it could definitely be a more challenging because they're two very headstrong signs. It would just be the same fact as like, I know a lot of Tauruses. I'm a Taurus. Some of them I get along with great. My partner's a Taurus. Some of them I do not get along with as well because it's like the bulls butting heads, and it's the same with the bull and the ram, right? So, it all depends. In the pure forms of the energies, there's strengths and weaknesses to both, and the way that those energies would relate with each other. Hello, Michael. Welcome. Oh yeah, our intuition is getting turned up to a whole other level here. So anything else we want to say about this eclipse? It's occurring at 9 degrees of Aries. So that's the point where Mercury began its retrograde. That's also 1 degree away from where Venus began her retrograde. So see how this energy just keeps coming back. So this is a powerful moment of realignment within this heart-mind coherence and balancing that we have going on. Within all of this, it's a really powerful it's like a switch being flipped here. Like we've been working through a lot of these themes and energies, and something is being turned on. Some sort of light is being turned on here within our consciousness, within our being, within our awareness, within our collective. And I feel as though this light being turned on is directly connected to Neptune and Aries. And we're going to see it's like it's activated, but it's going to be a gradual process as we move through the next, and how many years do we have here? I have this written down, how long we have, until 2038. All right, that's when Neptune makes its first ingress into Taurus, is 2038. All right, so from now until 2038, that light is going to be getting brighter and brighter. And of course, remember, we're also in a 164-year cycle. So that's perhaps when the light's fully going to illuminate. Thank you, Steve. Yes, hello, Leanna. Oh, your birthday was March 9th. Happy solar return. Beautiful. Oh, I'm so glad you feel at home here. Yeah, it can be challenging when family and friends connections are no longer in vibrational resonance with us, and they just don't, they're just not on the same frequency. And sometimes that ultimately shifts, and sometimes it doesn't. You know, all we can do is just keep being our beautiful, weird, wacky selves and finding that home wherever that home is. and being open to the fact that family is a lot of different things, right? It's not just blood. We have our soul family. And a lot of us, the family we're born into is not our soul family. They're very different things. And this is for a lot of reasons. We were born into those families to help to heal and release some of that collective karma that that family line holds. There's so many different reasons for it, for our own growth and development and challenges. And it's just about loving everyone where they're at and allowing everyone to have their journey. I'm so glad I can feel that. I'm so glad that you two were able to reconnect, Kat. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so this is that soul light being turned up in all of us. There's this beautiful energy here. When we had Neptune in Pisces, it was very nebulous, right? It was very flowing, very mystical, very whimsical. It was definitely an energy that tapped us into deeper levels of our higher self and really allowed us to understand and grasp more that energy and that understanding of oneness, right? What the oneness principle means, the law of oneness. What is that really all about? What does it mean to be one? What does it mean to be interconnected? There was a lot of interesting creative energies that came out of Neptune in Pisces. A lot of people say the internet or social media was a big aspect of Neptune in Pisces as well, because it was a way that we connected. Neptune entered Pisces in 2011, was the first ingress into Pisces. So 2011, 2012. And that was, of course, the first major bifurcation of the planet. And we talk about this in other videos. Check out the 2/3 world split video if you want to learn more about the bifurcation. But talking about birthing, right? This is like the contractions as the earth splits, as we shift into the 5D earth and out of the old 3D paradigm. So 2011, 2012 was a big time. That was my next level of awakening occurred in 2011, 11. So that, yeah, we can see the shifts that have occurred since then. The way the collective consciousness, the way that we've turned on to more of the truth of who we are, really remembered that. So now with this Aries energy, we're carrying that through. We're essentially carrying that torch. It's like, yes, I remember who I am. I've worked through a lot of those collective wounds, those collective traumas. I felt the resolution and the healing of the healer's wound being a big part of this Neptune and Aries energies. As Neptune and Aries truly, to me, represents spiritual empowerment. It represents finally being like, yes, I remember what happened in the past. I know that I wasn't safe, but I am safe now. I am safe and I am sovereign and I am going to stand in my spiritual power. I am going to utilize my spiritual gifts. I am going to share those with the collective, right? Because this is still beautiful collective energy. This is still Neptune, right? Neptune still loves. Neptune is still creative. Neptune is still idealistic. There's going to be a big shift in ideals and values as we move forward into Neptune in Aries. One of the things that can be challenging about Neptune in Aries is that there is this real fiery bravado type of an energy. So people can tend to push their beliefs onto others. They can tend to be very my way or the highway. So there can be more polarizing energies. Sometimes think like American Civil War, right? Like we want to be careful not to fall into that trap. We're coming out of that oneness principle, that oneness bubble of Neptune and Pisces into Neptune and Aries, which is like, I got to think about me, what I want, what I need, what I desire, right? I want to differentiate. Aries wants to differentiate itself from the whole. It's like that first spark of ego identity. So there is going to be some aspect of that. There is also, because remember, Neptune can indicate illusion and delusion. So we want to be wary of that. We want to be wary of these figures rising to power, these spiritual figures who are very charismatic, who are very charming and commanding with their energy, that people blindly follow. Because as this impulse to be your own leader is being birthed within us, sometimes people like they misinterpret that, or they're so unfamiliar with that energy that they're like, okay, like I want to become my own leader, but like, who can I follow who's going to show me how to do that? And so people will be seeking that energy again. And as they're seeking that, there may be some unsavory characters who are misrepresenting their energy. And so we want to be aware of that. We want to be cognizant and really continue to utilize our discernment. I was talking with someone earlier today about how a next phase of our initiation in our spiritual awakening journey is when we begin to realize that a lot of the spiritual leaders and the people who are teaching us the stuff that's blowing our minds are actually negatively polarized or self-serving in their agendas. And there's a whole new awakening that happens when we realize that we can't trust everybody who claims to be spiritual. That not everybody who claims that they are love light are of love and light, right? That there are many different shades of gray, so to speak. And there's a whole lot of misrepresentation in the spiritual community. We are going to be seeing those energies being revealed, however. So it's not like a permanent pulling the wool over people's eyes, right? People have this autonomy rising within them. And that's one of the necessary, remember, we called it an initiation. One of the necessary challenges within that energy that allows us to rise up into a deeper level of our own sovereignty. It is simply something to be aware of. Yeah, I think that's all we need to say about that right now. Oh, welcome, Kat. So happy to have you join the tribe here, and hello, Fox Finds as well. As far as the ringing goes, I did want to address that before we keep going here. So ringing in the ears, yes, there is such a thing as tinnitus. This is when the eardrums are damaged and you hear ringing. And I definitely experienced some of that when I was younger, and I still have that to a certain extent because of listening to loud music, which I think Michael had mentioned. There is also, though, when your clairaudience begins to activate, you start to hear ringing as well. And the way to know the difference between what tinnitus is and what is your psychic senses activating is when is the ringing occurring? That's what you want to look at. When is the ringing occurring? If it's just a constant ringing all the time of a similar tone, then that's probably just tinnitus. If the ringing is increasing in pitch or frequency, if it's getting louder or softer, depending on certain things that are happening around you, that's when you know that it's your psychic senses activating. For me personally, the first time I started hearing energy was when I received a Bell Vespita angelic healing session. And those I do offer, and I also teach this modality, by the way. It's really powerful. The first time I received a Bell Vespita healing, I started hearing energy. And it was different than the tinnitus because, like I said, it wasn't just a background noise that's always there. Tinnitus, if there's no external sound, you just always hear this general bass ringing. All right. But this is different. It was like I began to notice, like, when the energy in a room would shift, I would hear it changing and it would be a different tone in my ears. Or when somebody said something important, I would hear the ringing. And sometimes it would be only in one ear. Sometimes it's in both ears, which is interesting. And now when I do these readings and when I connect and I channel for all of you, I sometimes hear one of my ears start ringing, like my ears are ringing right now because I'm talking about this. And that's how I know that whatever I'm saying is powerful and important. So you have to learn how to use your own judgment and to understand the nuances of this energy. So sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's tinnitus, sometimes it's your psychic senses activating, just like anything else. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really fun. I love the ear ringing thing. Some people also say that your ears ring when you're receiving downloads. And so those could be downloads that are coming through. Like if you have a thought drop into your head, or an idea drop into your head and you notice your ears are ringing at the same time, pay attention to that. Write that down. That is important. All right. It's a great way that my guides help get me to pay attention. So I love the ear ringing. And sometimes with different types of healing modalities and different things, it gets so intense. When I do combo, the ringing gets really intense as well, which is frog medicine. Yeah. Josh says, I feel it in my chest when the mood shifts. Absolutely. We all notice it in different ways, right? So that's more of that clairsentience, right? Within the body. When you feel things, your intuition, you feel it really powerfully, viscerally within your body. That would probably be similar. You might be someone, Josh, who also feels people's energies within your body. Like if you were doing, I don't know if you do energy work or not, but you would probably be somebody who would be likely to feel like if somebody had like a sore throat, you might feel that energy or pick up on like a soreness in a body part or something like that. That's also clairsentience. Oh, it's hot today. Oh, Fox Finds, that sounds amazing. I'm so happy for you that you're hot and you feel like you need to get into some water. I cannot wait for that time of year to get here. Yes. Michael, when this download is on 1990 speed. Yeah. You're all natural. I don't do this stuff. What does that mean? You don't do this stuff. These are natural gifts, my friend. All right. So let's see. Oh, yeah. Let me finish giving you guys the dates here for the Neptune and Aries. So we talked about the on July 4th, Independence Day, the retrograde beginning at 2 degrees of Aries. Neptune will re-enter Pisces on the 22nd of October and will remain at that 29th degree of Pisces where Neptune is right now and where Neptune was for the solar eclipse or will be for the solar eclipse, which is occurring on the 29th. 29th again. The entire time it's in retrograde, which will be until December 10th. And then Neptune will shift back to 0 degrees of Aries on January 26, 2026. And then on February 20th, Saturn will join Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries. So that 29 degree of Pisces point is going to continue to be powerful. And as Neptune goes back into retrograde in October, or in July rather, but hits that 29 degree point on the 22nd of October, we're going to feel a resurgence of these eclipse energies. So something that was activated during that eclipse that has to do with the collective consciousness and has to do with our own higher consciousness, perhaps soul gifts and abilities, memories from past lifetimes, integration of aspects of our higher self, that's going to be from the 22nd of October until December 10th. Or really until January 26th, right? Because that's when Neptune returns to 0 degrees of Aries. We're going to have that energy is going to be really active. And whatever this eclipse is bringing up within us is going to be really powerful as well. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to what's happening even right now because Neptune's at 29 degrees of Aries. Pisces, as we're filming this video. Something really powerful is shifting. And remember, when we're working with these Neptune and Pisces energies, we're also working with those collective themes of powerlessness, of escapism, of addiction and victimization, and releasing some of these themes and energies. And I want to speak to this primarily, this energy of idealism that Neptune represents, because it's really important to understand where this energy comes from. When we say that Neptune and Pisces energy represents escapism and addiction and all of these energies, why is that? It's because it is such a beautiful idealistic energy. So Pisces energy sees the highest in people, right? So this is like the person, and I know a lot of you on this channel probably are like this, right? The person that sees the soul of everybody that they know, right? They see the highest potential for everybody, and so they treat everybody, and people love them, right? Because they're treating you at the level of your potential. They're addressing you at your highest, as opposed to in a lower form of your energy, right? They're seeing the beauty of who you could be, who you truly are at your core, right? And they're seeing the world like this too, like what the world could be. If we all embrace this oneness principle, if we all embraced compassion for and empathy for each other, all of these energies. But what happens is Pisces energy, Neptune energy comes in with this beautiful idealistic version and idea of the world of people. And then the world and people let them down. They fail to meet those ideals and those expectations. And sometimes that can be really traumatic, right? When we consistently have the world and people letting us down, when we can see the possibility, but it's just not being realized. And so this is where Pisces energy gets disillusioned, where it says, well, what's the point? It's like Pisces energy is connected to that higher vision, those higher frequencies. But it's also living in this lower dimension where those frequencies are very rarely carried out to their fullest extent. And eventually it becomes that energy of disassociation, that energy of, all right, well, everything, nihilism, right? Like nothing matters. Everything is pointless, right? Nothing is real. Everything's illusion. All of these spiritual truths that we know, but they all get twisted and there's a darkness and a melancholy that settles around it. And this is why Saturn, who in a lot of ways was Neptune before Neptune was discovered because it was the outermost planet, kind of is representative of that melancholic energy as well, right? It's just that energy of disillusionment, that energy of like, I have such high ideals and hopes and visions for myself and other people, but nothing is living up to that. And I don't know how to live up to that myself. I don't know how to help other people live up to that. I'm feeling defeated. And so that's where a lot of in our modern age, it's like we pick up the drink, we pick up the drug, we turn on the TV, we do anything. Today, it's like doom scrolling through social media, whatever it takes to disconnect from that feeling of disconnect, right? That feeling of disappointment. So that's where this energy can take us. And so we're releasing some of that maybe. We're learning how to hold those high ideals, but at the same time, like be okay with the fact that like things are rarely going to live out. Like it's a process to live up to that, right? It's not going to happen all at once. It happens in little bits and pieces. And incorporating those spiritual truths and those spiritual values into this particular reality and dimension, and understanding that that's like that ideal is what we strive for, but it may not be what we experience, and that's okay. Is this a prelude for tomorrow's energy? What's tomorrow? What's today? I am so bad with days. I have no idea what the date is today. If somebody wants to tell me what the date is today, that would be great. What is the equinox? We're coming right up on the equinox, right? On the 21st. It is the 21st this year, I think, right? Or is it the 20th? It's the 9th. Oh, today's the 19th? Because the equinox, it moves around the dates. It's so funny. So I was watching Eliza. I don't know if any of you like her. She's a comedian. I think she's super funny. She had a special on Netflix. And she was talking about how when women have babies, there's actually part of their brain that holds facts, figures, information, stuff like that actually shrinks and shrivels up a little bit, so that the parts that are empathetic and the parts that help to take care of the child and keep the child alive actually grow. And so how women literally in some ways like get dumber in a sense when they have children. And that's like helps explain mom brain to a certain extent. And I'm like, dude, I don't know if that's scientifically accurate or not, but I feel that. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter how many facts and figures I look up. I always miss something. I'm always like a little bit confused, and I just have to embrace it, that is just what is going on right now. You know what I mean? Add to that the ascension, and it's a smorgasbord of like, I don't even know. So today is the 19th, huh? Yeah, the 20th. Yeah, so the equinox is tomorrow, you guys. Absolutely. This is the energy of March. We're in this energy. This is also, we're talking about the eclipse and we're talking about Neptune and Aries. All of these energies, they're all wound up together, right? This all happens simultaneously. So there's this beautiful birthing and create. Like the equinox is a gorgeous energy of rebirth in and of itself, right? And it is representing Aries season beginning and the astrological new year. So there's a lot of newness and freshness and empowerment and reinvention, especially with 2 personal planets in retrograde that goes on during Aries season. Just remember, we're in a process of revising. There's a lot that's going to be shifting, a lot that is uncertain right now. So don't hold on to anything with certainty, and just know that things are going to come and go and ebb and flow right now. So whatever comes in right now may not stay, but it is here for a reason and a season. So just accepting that and letting it move, ebb and flow as it will. Hello, Tara, by the way, and hello, Jamie. Let's see. I'm checking out Josh's comments for a second. Well, there's a lot of healing and releasing. Oh, you're a Cancer, so is my son. That's beautiful. You lived when you shouldn't have. Well, I don't know about shouldn't have. Everything that I've done, everything that I've experienced, all the mistakes that I've made led me to where I am right now, and it's absolutely perfect. And a lot of that was preordained by my soul. And what wasn't was just my own plain old stubborn will, and that's okay too. It's all beautiful. We all have traumas. We all have things that we go through, and this is not being said to minimize anybody's traumatic experiences. This is only to say that that's part of being human. And you can heal from that. You can shift out of that. That is not the only thing that keeps us stuck in an outdated version of ourselves is us continuing to align with that version of ourselves. Continuing to believe that that story is owning that story, right? Owning that story that says nothing good ever works out for me. Owning that story that says bad things always happen to me. Owning that story that says life is full of disappointment. There's that Neptune and Pisces energy we were just talking about, right? That disillusionment energy. It starts with making very concentrated shifts. And it can be disappointing because say we start working with affirmations or we start doing this stuff, trying to realign our energy, but shit keeps happening that is not in alignment with what we're trying to create, right? Like bad things keep happening despite the fact that we wake up every day and we say, I am in energetic alignment. I am a magnet for blessings. Good things always happen for me. My world is always taking care of me. We're saying this every day, and yet more stuff keeps dumping on us. And so it discourages us and we give up, right? We try it for a couple days, we give up because more stuff just keeps raining down on us. It's a muscle. We have to keep working it. We have to keep shifting. We have to keep working through these limiting belief systems that keep us stuck in these repetitive patterns. And I'm getting ready. I will at some point put out, I meant to put out a course for this. It's just one of those things that I haven't done yet. Unfortunately, but look into EFT tapping, Josh. That can really help with breaking through some of these patterns. That's been a powerful tool that I've used. Ho'oponopono, which is a Hawaiian forgiveness prayer. You can look that up. EFT tapping has been huge for me in helping to dislodge some of this. Also, there's the book that I recommend. It's in my Benable profile, which is linked in the bio or the description box of all my videos with the Akashic Records. There's a book, A Radical Approach to the Akashic Records, which teaches you how to start going up into the Akashic Records to shift some of these patterns and energies. It's just all these different ways that we can do it, but it requires, it's a lot of hard work and dedication to begin shifting these belief systems and shifting these energies. And subliminals can be really helpful, right? Reprogramming the subconscious mind. That's what we have to do. And we have to know that it's going to take time. And it's going to take time for the physical reality to catch up. And it's all about our own vibration, just continuing to show up and do the healing work so that our frequency can rise. And if you want assistance with this, I offer one-on-one coaching as well as all kinds of different individual sessions as well. Let's see. So glad you were on here with us today, Kat. And I want to welcome you to the tribe as well, Josh. There's a lot of really beautiful, supportive people here as well that see the beauty in you, that honor that beauty. And sometimes I'm feeling called to also say that phrase, it's always darkest before the dawn. Sometimes our biggest breakthrough comes immediately after our biggest breakdown. Right? As we say on here, the breakdown precedes the breakthrough. All right. What else do we want to talk about with this here? Yep. Looking over my notes here. We talked about healing the healer's wound. No longer being afraid to use our gifts, to use our voice. Spiritual action as well. Neptune in Aries is all about spiritual action. Remember, this is fire. This is cardinal fire. What we're initiating, what we're beginning. So there's a lot of that energy where we're being spurred to take action on things, where it's no longer about that Piscean energy of just mulling over and being very in our feminine and being very etheric and meditating. And it's like, yes, meditating, because remember, Neptune is Pisces energy. It is a ruler of Pisces. But it's also, it's like we meditate, we get that inspiration, and then we act on it. That's the Aries energy. So it's really going to help complete that channel of energy for us, where the masculine and the feminine energies come together in order to actually achieve this creation. Neptune also can rule, it rules Hollywood and it rules entertainment and all of that, the glitz, the glamour. So we're going to see a lot of energy surrounding that as well. We're going to see more shifts in that energy. We're going to see more shifts in the type of role models and the type of people that we're drawn to, and the type of people that the collective holds in high regard. And we're going to see more of an emphasis on individuality, more of an emphasis on courage, on confidence, on being the trailblazer, trying new things, not falling in with the crowd. So people who are more bold, people who are doing things differently, who are going against the grain, who are going against the mold, that warrior type energy, that's the energy that is going to be, that we're going to be more drawn to. And we're also going to see some of that with fashion as well. More of those bold fashions. We also have the Venus star point in Aries, and Venus represents this energy of our style and our relational aspects. So having a Venus star point in Aries as well, and these are the points that Venus revisits within her 9-year cycles as she moves through the zodiac, always returning to these same 5 points. So we have a new point being activated within the sign of Aries, and that's happening in just a few days. That's happening on the 22nd, 23rd of March. So that's going to be a big energy as well. So we're seeing a lot of this Aries energy repeating in multiple places here. We talked about spiritual extremism. We talked about this energy of, I even put here like cult leaders and things like that. Like we want to be really careful for that. We want to make sure that we're not moving out of one spiritual philosophy or ideology just into another one. All right, we want to really, when we talk about religion as somebody else's experience, spirituality is my experience. Neptune in Aries really wants us to emphasis on what is my experience. So there's going to be a lot of that, a lot of people looking to their own lives, their own experiences to help define and identify their own personal journeys here, their own personal journeys of consciousness. We may also see more of these kamikaze acts and behaviors, people who feel as though they're being led by God to do all sorts of things. So we want to be aware of that. We don't want to operate in fear though, right? We want to operate in sovereignty and integrity, knowing that what we experience in our own personal reality is directly correlates with our own vibration, our own frequency, our own energy. We are the creators of our own reality. We want to keep that first and foremost in our minds, and that's Neptune and Aries energy as well. What I create in my personal reality benefits and impacts the entire collective. And yes, the collective's creation can influence me if I allow it to. So what aspects of the collective creation am I going to allow to influence me? And which ones, where am I going to discard things and say, no, thank you? That's not the reality that I'm manifesting and creating. It's finding that balance of energies there. Let's see. We talked about how 2025 is the beginning of this energy of walking your walk, or walking your talk rather. So it's not just about what the lips are saying. It's about what the legs are doing. What is the body doing? How are we moving? How are we living and embodying everything that we preach? That's a big, big energy that I'm feeling with Neptune in Aries as well. Something interesting that I found coming up a lot of times as well in some of the things that I was watching and listening to was this idea of the sacrificial lamb. and this energy of death and martyrdom, as well as assassination. So there's a lot of this energy of, with Aries, it's like one figurehead, one person who is sort of representing an aspect of the collective energy, who honestly like sacrifices themselves for a greater ideal, right? Neptune being about ideals and vision, for a greater purpose. So we may see this happening. We may see political leaders, we may see religious leaders who are assassinated, or more attempts on people's lives. As we move into this energy, we may see some people becoming martyrs if they are actually assassinated. And this energy of offering themselves up for the collective, in one sense, whether they're doing this knowingly or simply by knowing the danger that they put themselves in, by becoming that voice for the collective. But those voices are going to be needed. And yeah, I know I talked about the healer's wound and the healing of the healer's wound. The healer's wound can be traced back to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, and that energy, that storyline, that in so many ways. So when we hear about sacrificial lambs, when we hear about martyrdom and all of this, I know that there's this energy, like I felt it, that's like, well, I thought it was safe to use our voices. We thought it was safe to be who we are, to share our gifts. But now we're talking about the sacrificial lamb. Like, that's the whole reason that we've been afraid to step into our spiritual power to begin with. All right. So it's like, and part of this, with this Aries energy, this is the Mars energy. This is the warlike energy. This is the Viking energy right here, right? What did Vikings believe? They believed that when you died in battle, you went to Valhalla. All right. So it's like, know and understand, because this is the activation of the spiritual warrior within every single one of us. We have to understand and really internalize this knowledge. This is walking our talk. This is where we know. It's not just where we say because it's a cute sound bite, like I am an eternal being. It's when we know I am an eternal being. So that means if I die tomorrow in this physical world, my energy goes on. My energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It is here infinitely. Whether I'm here in this physical vessel, in this avatar or not, this is where we act according to that, where we hold that true, and where we hold these other spiritual beliefs become faith, where we walk within that faith, where we act according to that faith, where we're not afraid to put ourselves out there. It's not because there's no more danger. The danger looks different today than it did back when, right? But it's not because there's no more danger. It's because we have learned how to walk through our fear. We have learned how to master that fear, in the sense that we don't let it detract us anymore. We don't let it make decisions for us anymore. We know that it's there. All right? That fear, there's something greater than that fear now. There is faith and there is conviction. So that's the difference with Neptune in Aries, is having the courage to walk through that fear. That's what courage really means. It's not the absence of fear. It's the willingness to walk through it. And that is one of the greatest lessons of Aries energy, as well as learning where to apply and how to apply that warrior spirit. What battles are worth fighting for? This is something that Aries energy really needs to understand. Aries energy needs an outlet for that warrior spirit. They need a cause to fight for, but it needs to be a cause worth fighting for. And if Aries energy doesn't have that cause, they will rail against everything and everyone. And we're going to see that. People who do not have a spiritual foundation, who do not have a spiritual mission, who do not have something that they are fighting for that they know is worth fighting for, are going to be fighting everything and everyone. And some people are going to be, and remember, this is just a perspective, right? This is my own judgment when I say this, misplacing that energy and fighting like these energies, these entities that once controlled the false matrix, right? The powers that were, as we call them. They're going to be doing everything they can to get us to point the finger at each other, to get us to use that Neptune and Aries energy. Because remember, they follow astrology. They know what's going on. All right. They work with and leverage the laws of the universe, just as we're learning to do. But they've been doing it for a hell of a lot longer than we have. Not really in the scheme of like we're infinite beings, but like in this body and this consciousness. A lot of us are just learning how to do this again. Right. A lot of us have been asleep for a really long time, lifetime after lifetime. We're waking up now. They've been awake. They've been aware. They've known what's going on. So they're going to try to twist this energy and use it against us to take that warrior spirit and focus it on the wrong things. And they've been doing this since the beginning of time. As you're listening to this, you're probably going to realize this ain't nothing new. All right. The whole divide, the whole conquer and divide. There's another name for it, situational divide. There's a lot of different names for this energy where they separate us into different categories. They find things that give us that emotional energy. And then they essentially, it's like gladiators in the ring, right? Having us fight each other to the death over stuff that in the grand scheme of things does not fucking matter. Because what really matters is our independence and our sovereignty. All right. So we can't let them do that. We cannot, this is going to be one of the greatest lessons of Neptune in Aries, is this energy of not allowing them to divide us anymore, not allowing them to take our warrior spirit and trick us into channeling it in the wrong directions. This is where we collectively come together as one warrior spirit that will not be divided, that will not be conquered, that will not be dismissed. And that's where we create real lasting change. Whew, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are amazing. I love you so much. That's what it is right there. That's Neptune and Aries for you. That was me tapping into and channeling the energy of Neptune in the sign of Aries. That's the highest vibration of this energy, right? When we come together, when we unify for a purpose, for a reason, and we stop letting them divide us. We stop letting them separate us. You know, there's so much going on right now, you guys. There is so much. I don't know if you guys saw the interview I shared with David Icke. He was one of the first people that I listened to when I started exploring conspiracy theories. And he's really wise. And there's been a lot of things with the current administration in the US that have been causing me to question lately. And there's layers upon layers upon layers that are going to be revealed to us. So this is why I'm saying, don't allow anyone to be your savior. Don't blindly trust or follow anyone. Only develop that trust within yourself, in your own sovereignty. As long as we remember that we are sovereign, it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. It doesn't matter this one's playing for that team or that team. Oh, that team was always that team, right? They're just pretending to be different. It's the same old song and dance. It doesn't matter. We are one unified team as well. And by we, I mean all of the beautiful souls that incarnated on this planet to grow and evolve and to live in peace. That's the only we that we need to worry about. That's the only they that we need to worry about. Doesn't matter who's actually playing what side, you know what I mean? Like I said, I think more is going to be revealed. I think, I don't know. As I'm saying this, I'm almost saying like there's illusions that are placed on purpose in order to force us deeper into our own sovereignty. And this would make sense, right? Neptune is about illusion. So, I don't know. It's going to be a lot of curveballs here. But we navigate it by always coming back to our own center, by tending to our own spiritual fire, our own spiritual flame. I love you all so much. What do you guys want to do? You want to pull a few cards on this energy? I feel like we really covered a lot there. Let's see. What do we want to pull? Interesting. I'm going to pull a couple cards from the Quantum Oracle. Clear. Oh yeah, we didn't really get into Kali Yuga. I was going to talk about that too. So these are the Hindu ages, I believe. And so Kali Yuga is known as the Dark Age. So it's this idea that there are different ages that we pass through as we evolve as a species, as a planet. And how we're about to enter the Golden Age, which comes after the Dark Age. So what I thought was interesting about this was as I was researching it, I'm realizing that there's lots of different interpretations about when one age ends and the next begins, as well as the length of the ages. And there are some people who believe that the ages are ascending and descending, meaning instead of going right from Kali Yuga to the golden age, and I forget what the name of that is. I have it somewhere in my notes, but you actually ascend back up through the ages that you descended through. So as you have the golden age, then there's an iron age, there's a bronze age as you move down into the dark age. So some believe that we ascend back up. So we ascend through the iron age and the bronze age and eventually reach the golden age again from the dark age. Some believe that once you descend to the dark age, from there, it's a transition right back up into the golden age. And the lengths of time vary between interpretations as well. So I didn't write down any exact dates on that because there was so much discrepancy between interpretations, but I definitely think that we can see the dark age, right? A lot of people believe that the dark age is ending, that Kali Yuga is ending as Neptune enters Aries. And I see that in a way because it's like the light, right? Aries represents that. It is that solar energy in a lot of ways. It's Mars, but it also is that solar energy. It's that masculine energy. It's that life force. And so there is like a brightening of energy here. But it also, like, I definitely feel as though, because there's hundreds of years, like it was Lady Duncheva, which I know some of you guys like to watch. I watched a video that she did on this, and she was saying there's like a 300-year adjustment period where civilization's falling apart before a new civilization is created, and we're definitely in that period and entering that period now. But it's also like hundreds of years, many hundreds of years with each of these ascending ages. But I feel as though we've been in that process for a while now, because the ages, if you go through, and they talk about it in a descending basis, typically. So it's like when you start losing touch with your spirituality, you start forgetting. It's like the process of forgetting. And then it's complete amnesia is when you're in the dark age. And so it's like we've been in the process of remembering, kind of ascending through some of those levels, like the bronze, the iron, I feel, for quite some time now. So I feel as though we're shifting from the dark age into the golden age here. It definitely feels like that is the trajectory. I don't think we're going to have thousands of years in these stages leading up to. I feel like we've been in that process of leading up to, like it's been a process of working out of the dark age. Like we haven't been just fully submerged in the dark age. We've actually been in the process of working up and out of it. I don't know how you guys feel, but it definitely feels that way to me. You know what I mean? Like the level of consciousness on the planet, the awareness, like our DNA is about to shift in a big way that really is going to be ushering in this golden age. So I definitely think we are within sights of that golden age. It's not going to be thousands of years still. We're on the cusp, you guys. Yeah. Prince says consciousness has never been lower. I don't necessarily believe that. I mean, the consciousness of the people on this channel is relatively high. As a collective, there are many people who are definitely in a very low state of consciousness. But I don't think it's the lowest it's ever been by any means. Or that's simply what I see. But it's all perspective, though, right? It's all perspective. And it's all relative to our own personal biases. So it depends on where you're looking to. Yeah. And hello, Tasneem. Yeah, we've been going for just about an hour now. So definitely was a lot of really good stuff at the beginning of the video for those who missed it. Hello, Karimi. Hello, Miranda. Well, so I'm gonna give a really unpopular opinion here, which is the fact that unpopular, but from my perspective anyway, accurate. When we say the universe is playing games with us, everything on the outside is a reflection of our own internal state. So technically, we are playing games with ourselves. So what we have to figure out is why. Why am I doing that? Why am I playing a game with myself? And what is the game that I'm playing? You want people to be special too hard. Well, everyone is special, right? But it's just whether they're able to recognize that and act upon it. And so if we desperately want that for other people or from other people, we want to look at why. What is that need within us that is being fulfilled by that? That's where we start really beginning to do the work. Awareness has expanded so much. Absolutely. Exactly. The fact that we have these conversations now is certainly evidence that the consciousness is raising. But all of the lower consciousness is being exposed as well, right? It's all coming up and out. It's like the image that I'm being given right now is like when someone's bitten by a snake, right? There are one of the ways that you suck out the venom, right? That's kind of what's happening right now on a collective level. Al, you were born 1 year before me, Karimi. Amanudian. I probably butchered that, but your game is food or medicine. What do you mean by that? Food can be medicine depending on what you're eating. Oh, that's awesome. Welcome back, Enter the Void. I love that. I love that when people return after being away for a time. And thank you so much for the donations, by the way. Kiana and Annika as well sent a donation. You're so sweet. I love you both so much. I appreciate you infinitely. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad to have you back. I love that, though, when people leave for a time, right? Because it shows that like they've gotten what they needed. And now they're going out and they're just living it in the world. You know what I mean? But I love that energy of checking back and coming back around as well. It's just, just sending you so much love and so much appreciation, and so happy to have you back now. And also so happy that you were out there just living your life, doing the damn thing. You know what I mean? TikTok consciousness is pretty low, Dee says. It can be. There's high vibrational energy on TikTok too. Once again, it just remembers it depends on how you look and where you look. You know what I mean? TikTok's a weird world, though. I'm on TikTok. You know what I mean? But it can be strange. Absolutely. And using that analogy, Tasneem, of pouring clear water into a dirty container, another analogy that gets similar to that people use is the idea of that if there's dirt settled in the bottom of a container and you shake it up, the water was clear above the dirt until you shook up the glass, right? It doesn't mean you made the water dirty. The dirt was always there. It's just you couldn't see it until you shake up the container. So that's what's happening right now. The container is being shaken up, right? All the dirt is rising to the surface so it can be extracted, right? Yeah. Even just the fact, like the rising conspiracy culture, it means that people are not believing everything that they're told anymore. Just that alone is the consciousness rising. When people are realizing that they're being lied to, right? That's huge in and of itself. I'll tell you, because I've been interested in spiritual subjects pretty much my entire life. And I've been a conspiracy buff for like 15 years now. So the conversations that I used to have and the number of people that I used to be able to have these conversations with 15 plus years ago compared to now, I can see how much people have awakened and how much more open-minded they've become just because of the shift in that energy. And to have people in places of power and prestige who are also talking about these things. It's not just the David Ickes of the world that are sort of like sequestered into a corner, right? You see it everywhere now. So that's how I know the frequency is rising. Plus, not to mention all the people interested in alternative medicine, right? Which was just relabeled alternative. Was it the Rockefellers, I want to say, that bought the medical establishment and paid to have all true medicine labeled alternative so that they could start pushing their pharmaceuticals. I think it was the Rockefellers that started that whole process of why we call it alternative medicine instead of simply medicine. You know, but people are coming back to all of these things, to all of these holistic treatments, energy treatments, all of this stuff. It's all evidence that the vibration and the frequency and the consciousness is rising. You know what I mean? People are looking beyond what they can see with these eyes, and they're looking with this eye. They're seeing from here and here. It's really powerful. Well, we're sending you lots of love, Josh. Let's see here. Annika is amazing. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love that. Enter the void. It can change if you decide to change it, Josh. This is a place of empowerment. It's all up to you. It's all up to you. Don't worry about whether you're useful to others right now. Be useful to yourself. You can be of service to others as well. So yeah, I won't even say that you're not useful. Perhaps the people that you're trying to be useful for are not the people to you or for you. Perhaps utilize that energy somewhere else, somewhere where it's better received. And be useful to yourself. You got to build yourself up first. Nobody else is going to do it for you. This is a great place to start that. You have a lot of support here if you choose. You are lovable. You are lovable. You are beautiful and infinite and powerful. And yes, in one sense, it doesn't matter because once you transition from this world, you're simply going into another energy. But you can make this world and this experience one that's worth living, one that's worth having. You can choose to do that, and you deserve to do that. You deserve to find happiness within this lifetime. It's right there. It is accessible to you in every single moment. Simply because you exist. Yeah. Oh, Tasneem, it's so funny you said the same thing I said. All right, let's look at these cards here, you guys. We have the healing light with decrease. It's this so funny because Tasneem, you're connected right in with this energy right now. You said when you start loving yourself, they're going to fall out of your life. And look at these cards here. Higher, it's the healing light and decrease. This is releasing. This is things being removed. This is the energy of things falling away. And we are in eclipse season. Eclipses, as we always say, they eclipse things in and they eclipse things out. All right. So there's this beautiful call here. This beautiful offering of healing. And Spirit's saying, as you're receiving this healing, it's going to feel like you're losing things. It's going to feel like your world gets smaller. Things are being removed that are not in alignment, that are preventing your healing, that are preventing you from thriving. All right, so this could be people, this could be a job, this could be distractions. For some people, it's like in order for you to, you've prayed for healing, in order for you to receive the healing and begin the process, then you're going to have to get rid of some of these distractions. So some of these distractions are being removed because that's what you asked for. Whether they're people, whether they're hobbies or things that you do, whatever way it is that you waste your own time or you allow other people to waste your time or your energy, some of those things are being removed from your life right now. Tasneem, I love it. Welcome to the tribe. You are so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Yeah. So pay attention to what's leaving. Recognize that it's leaving for a reason. Recognize that it's being removed because you asked for it. Even if you didn't consciously ask for it, on some level, you asked for healing. You asked for clarity. You asked for alignment. And now there are like, Spirit is, it's kind of that energy of like Spirit is removing things and kind of paring things down before the new is created. It's so the analogy that Spirit wants me to use right now is one of the old, this is like an old manifestation hack. And this is like they say, they use the example of like, say you want to manifest a partner. If you want to manifest a partner, start making space for them in your life. Start clearing out half your closet so they have a place to hang their clothes. Empty out half your drawers so they have a place to put their stuff. Leave them a space in the bathroom. You know, it's that kind of an energy. It's the energy of making space, getting rid of clutter. That's what this energy is. It's like whatever was cluttering your life, your energy, it's being removed now so that you're able to heal. And anybody or anything that is toxic to your energy is absolutely being removed right now. Yeah, we have conflict on the bottom of the deck. Some people too, I'm getting the message that there are people here. Hello, beautiful Amber. And thank you, Tasneem. I just love you so much. I love you all so much. I'm getting this message also here with this decrease that there are people finding this right now who are going through financial troubles or financial difficulties currently. And I feel like there's healing coming in for that. So if you're somebody who's been struggling with this for some time, and we have the 4 and the 8 here. 4 is a multiple, or 8 is a multiple of 4 is a multiple of 8. 8's a multiple of 4. How do they say that? Whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. 4 doubled is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So there's this energy here. Remember what I said, your blessings or your bounty is about to be subtracted. It's like it's going to become less before it becomes more, I guess is the only way I know how to say it. I feel like there's some sort of reference with that with like Jesus and the bread or something like that, how he multiplies the bread. I don't really know. Somebody who's well-versed in the Bible, there may be a message in there for you surrounding that energy. I'm not super familiar with all of the stories in the Bible, but I know there's something with Jesus multiplying the bread or something like that. Simpler way I can put this, you're about to have less before you get more, before you receive more. And part of it is the trick of, can you be grateful for the less? And it's like the gratitude for less is what opens you up to receive more. Gratitude when you have the less. Oh, hello, Gerline. Welcome. So happy to see you here. And hello, Ty. Yeah. So it's like, and I know I've gone through this recently, right? I had Saturn conjunct my Jupiter for like pretty much a year. Okay. Oh, thank you, Tasneem. I appreciate that donation. I appreciate you very much. So there was a building of faith that occurred through my world getting smaller, through my finances getting more constrained, more constricted. I'm coming out the other side of that now, and it's really beautiful, but it really developed my faith. And it really caused me to work on my belief systems, right? My vibration, to approach my abundance and my mindset and my faith in a whole different manner. All right, so a lot of us are getting that opportunity right now to develop that deeper faith, to develop that deeper gratitude. Anything else here? This is interesting. So we've got family, the loving man, and present power coming out. So there's definitely a healing of the masculine here. There's also family healing here. Let me feel into this here. For some people, this is what's coming in. There's if you've been trying to start a family or you've been estranged from your family, there's family coming in. There's children. For some people who've been trying to conceive or wanting to conceive, for some people, there's love coming in. We got the loving man here. For some people, it's your own power returning to you. So this is beautiful. It's like the decrease, right? So perhaps some of you, it's like you went through, if this is love, like you experienced the decrease first, you went through a breakup. Maybe normally you would meet somebody else and jump back into a relationship, but you just weren't finding anybody else. You were meant to be alone, to go through what you needed to go through the healing process. For some people, maybe you even lost a child, and my condolences, my love to you if that is the case. Nothing more painful than that, I do believe. And now that energy is going to be reactivated. Whatever it was, it's like there was less, and now you're moving into the more because you experienced what you needed to experience through that isolation or through that lack, working through that lack mentality. And if you're in this right now, that's what's going to lead to this breakthrough, is working through and shifting through that lack mentality. What is it that you believe that you are lacking? That's what Spirit wants you to know. And I want everyone to know who's finding here, who's finding out here. Anything that, like, I am reading for everybody right now, even though this is a collective reading. This is for everybody. If you're tuning in, if you found this, it's because there are messages in here for you. So just know that even if I'm not doing what specifically is a personal reading, I am. Whether it's the scenario or it's the messages surrounding these energies. All right. So, but it is funny. You asked that question, Gerline, right as I pulled this energy. So I would say it looks favorable. As long as you learn what you're meant to learn in the meantime, you know? So if somebody said that they broke up with you because of anxious habits, have you worked to heal those? Have you worked to address those? Have you worked to understand what those are, where those come from? And if you want assistance with that, please reach out to me. I offer personal readings. I also offer one-on-one coaching, different types of energy healing sessions, all kinds of different ways to help you work through these energies, right? That's what brings, it's the working through when we experience the decrease, that Spirit making space for the healing to occur, but it's up to us to step up to the plate and to look at what's there and to really make the most of that energy. Absolutely. Amber says serving others always helps me if I'm lacking in gratitude. Taz, hi from Hawaii. What's that? What's that, D? Is that somebody saying hi? Is there somebody with you right now? Some people, it's friends and colleagues coming in. Remember, we talked about what. So for some people, you've been in a period of isolation where friends, connections, your social network has gotten really, really small. And so there's a resurgence of that energy coming in because you've gone through that period of decrease. So I love this. That's the release and then the bringing in, right? When we talk about the eclipse energies here too. Clear. There's always more work to do, Gerline. Always more work to be done, right? We do the best we can, right? We just keep showing up and trying. Interesting, Mandy P. So I put the cards back in the deck, Mandy, and then they came out and there are 3 in my hand, and you asked, can I pull 3 more cards to expand on this reading? That's so funny. So yes, I can. We have increase, so we saw decrease. Now we have increase to just confirm that for us, that we are in the upswing. We are moving into that energy, but we have to accept the decrease first, right? Once we accept it, and we work through what we're supposed to work through in that period of isolation, in that period of lack, in that period of having less than, we see the lack as an illusion, right? Because we realize we have everything within, right? Then we move into this season of increase. And with the spring equinox, Neptune and Aries, everything that we've been talking about, the solar eclipses tend to bring energies in, right? The lunar eclipse is out, the solar brings it in. We're seeing this increase. Notice the flowers are growing. Everything's coming to life. Notice these are like all the different chakra colors too here. Those aren't even flowers. What are they? They're crystals. Look at that. They're crystals of all the different chakra colors. Somebody might be interested in chakra healing. Someone might need to clear their chakras or work with certain chakras, and certain crystals might help. We'll pull a crystal card to close here after this. And we have planning and action coming through. And we have letting go. So there's this energy here of setting those intentions, planning, and we talked about this with the making space for what we're bringing in, right? But it's also like planning. So set those plans. Some of you, it's like traveling. You might want to you might be being called to travel. I'm being called to put together a meet and greet sort of connection point for our tribe in Sedona. I'm thinking September. Let me know what you guys think about that. Like for the 9/9 energies, where this is a 9 year, I feel like September, either September or November. So let me know what you guys are feeling for that. I'm really called towards September, especially. But you might have different plans for travel. You might have different things. Spirit's saying divine timing is aligning. So really start planning. What is it that you want? Keep it fluid. Keep it open so that spirit and you can co-create with spirit together, right? But set those intentions, set those plans, and take the inspired actions. Act accordingly. Some people, Spirit's saying, have been planning for a long time. So if you're one who's been planning for a long time, then it's about taking the action. All right, you're going to know which camp you fall into. And if you're too vague, this is an opportunity to get a little bit more specific with what you want to plan and what you want to initiate. Oh, Gerline, that's all right. We're moving towards this. This is just the start. Once we do a couple within my country of origin, we'll start doing some international meet and greets as well. And India, or Tibet rather, is going to ultimately be the site of one. We're not sure when. We'll see how the stars continue to align. Hello, Carl. So yeah, taking the inspired action. Spirit's saying acting on some of the plans that you've already come up with is going to lead to some of this increase for some as well. And then there are still more things that need to be let go. So continue letting things go along the way. For some people, it's like letting go of old plans because there's new plans coming through that are crystallizing, new desires that are coming through. So Spirit's saying, don't hold on to the old. If it's not aligning with the new and what is in resonance for you now, what's exciting you now, don't be so caught up in like, well, this is what I wanted. This is what I thought I was getting. This is what I thought I was doing. That you're like, well, say all right, how do I want to put this even better? Say you have a new inspiration coming through and you're really excited about it. It feels like the direction that you're being called to go. But there's an old goal that you had and you don't really have time for both. Or some of the things that you need to do toward this new thing contradict the old thing. So you say, well, I can't work toward that new thing because I have this old thing that I've been working towards or that I've wanted. Spirit's saying, you got to let go of some of that old stuff if it's not fitting, if it's not resonating anymore. All right. Old habits, old ways of doing things, old belief systems I'm feeling as well. A lot of this energy, it's like too many things. As some of these new inspirations, these new ideas pop up, sometimes it's just about too many pots on the stove, right? Same thing as like too many cooks in the kitchen, right? You don't want too many pots on the stove. Don't try to do too many things at once. Pick a few things that you're really passionate about, that you're really feeling fired up about, and focus on those. Yeah, taking action. I'm so glad to hear that taking action's been easier for you this month. This month's been something for me. I'm just riding it out, honestly. It's been absolutely crazy. But I love that you're feeling inspired. You're feeling the flow. You're feeling in the energy. That is gorgeous. We do have Mars direct now, which is definitely helping with that. Mars was retrograde in January and went direct at the end of February. So that definitely helped with that taking action energy. I think now with eclipse and retrograde season, it's just like I've been all over the place. But I love that for you, that you're finding it easier to take action and go after it. So yeah, letting go, continuing to release things, continuing to also allow doors to close and new doors to open. Pay attention to which, we talk about this all the time, pay attention to which doors are open and which doors are closed. Don't try to beat down a closed door, especially if there's an open door right next to it, right? See the doors in this card here? These dogs right now, they're showing me, are like her chaotic thoughts, her self-doubts, all of this, the judgments of other people, all of this old energy that's pulling at her, that's trying to distract her. All right, think how much easier it would be for her to walk through that door if she just let go of all those ropes. She just let go of all those dogs. Let them walk their path. That's going to be important for some, especially if you've been chasing people down a lot of paths that are leading you away from your own. Remember, everybody grows and evolves at their own pace. It's not our job or our responsibility to lower ourselves down to meet them. We stay where we're at and we let them rise up to meet us, right? We have new beginnings coming out with the vast universe. So brand new cycles, that baby, somebody, if you've been wanting a baby or a child, I really feel that that is definitely coming in for somebody. Increase in family's getting bigger. I'm feeling like a marriage with stepchildren for somebody too. Eric, you're welcome to. There's a thanks button on my videos, and there are links to donate in the description box as well. So go ahead. That is always appreciated. Thank you so much. Hello, Wildcat. We started 90 minutes ago, so we're just starting to wrap up here, but the replay will be available once we're done. Absolutely. We were talking about Neptune in Aries, the solar eclipse in Aries, and we touched a little bit on the end of Kali Yuga, the dark ages, as well as we move into the age of light, the golden age. Oh, I love that. Mandy says, I'm launching a business. It's my new baby. Let's send some good energy for that for Mandy. May you experience wonderful abundance and blessings, and may you be of beautiful assistance and service to the collective in whichever ways you are choosing. May you experience great success and fortune. Hello, DR. How you doing? It's good to see you. So this is that co-creating with spirit vibe right here. This is that leveraging the forces of the universe to create kind of energy here. This is that healing my inner child kind of energy here. This is that shattering paradigms kind of energy here. This is that embodying my highest self kind of energy here. This is that infinite possibility miracle mode turned on and activated kind of energy right here. That's what I'm feeling from these two cards. That is everything. That is knowing and remembering that you are a being of infinite potential. That you can create whatever it is that you want. This is rebirth. Where we re-enter this world as this beautiful infinite babe. All right? Free of all those old stories, all those old self-defeating habits and belief systems. Where we allow ourselves to be reborn, where we remember the vastness of the universe, the vastness of our own consciousness and being, and we call more of that into this experience. I love that. That's a great way to close. We're actually going to pull, like we said, a crystal card because we have that the increased card with the crystals. Pyrite's coming to mind right now. Pyrite, citrine, any of the yellow crystals, any of the crystals that work with the solar plexus, that work with that energy of belief in self, of positivity, positive mindset. We have deserving on the bottom of the deck. So also working with those energies of worthiness here. Clear. Let's see what crystal wants to work with us this week as we move through the equinox toward that momentous moment of Neptune entering Aries and that partial solar eclipse. Yes, Michael, it's coming, baby. All right. Chrysicola, silence. And if there's anything as well, any topics that you guys are interested in learning more about, let me know. I just finished the walk-in video, so hopefully I'll have that out in the next few days. Taking the light language on that card. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Jazzy. Oh my God. It's been one thing after another. Like I said, I'm just flowing through it. I had originally wanted to do combo ceremonies, 3 in a moon cycle for the eclipse, and that just has not happened. It's been one curveball after another. There's just so much. I'm just like, let's wait. Let's chill out. Let's let these energies run their course, and then like on the other side, there's just they've got their own. That's what I mean, is like the eclipse energies, we can absolutely work with them. We can absolutely use them to manifest and create, but we also got to ride the wave because they're doing their own thing. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Absolutely. And so it is, Jazzy. And so it is. Oh, look, I opened right up to it, you guys. That's perfect. And welcome, by the way, beautiful. So Chrysicola is all about silence, and the Master Crystal Deva is Chrysoel. And Chrysoel says, blessings in this joy-filled calling you have allowed, child of infinite love. I have come to shower you in the light of Venus. Speak not, simply shine forth in silence as it is God's speech. I am at your left, feel me wash through you. In my light, extend your heart and allow it to be a filter, open only to sounds touched by the spirit of ocean, or the ocean of spirit, sorry. Such beauty will open up the higher levels of voice and communication, delivering the language of love, which will flow from you. Be blanketed in my robe of silver light and let our embrace open the goddess path within you. You will come to know that often the ever-present perfection you are appears through silence. It paves the path of eternal peace, truth, and oneness. Chrysicola is a blend of blue and green colored rays. Let's see. In its more evolved gem silica state, it takes on more blue and holds greater transparency. The gem silica state is a color frequency that is an exact match to that of Divine Mother and is one of the 3 colors that surround her in all famous visions and artworks. Of all the stones on earth, Chrysicola is one of the most feminine frequencies, making it a stone of the goddess and her finer virtues such as patience, compassion, equality, and humility, gifts that she anchors into the heart of all that she touches. Her greatest gift for us all, however, is that she, like no other, directly teaches mastery of the feminine path of power. Ooh, and we've been talking about this. A way that is often forgotten on the earth. The masculine path is to take action, speak up, and create change outwardly. And this is Neptune and Aries that we're entering into here. Let's see, but it is blending with the feminine in some of this Neptunian energy, right? Let's see. Feminine power is to allow, be silent, dissolve, and change inwardly. Remember, just as that which we create and work for in our outer world affects our inner world, so that which is within you, if allowed, will soon surround you in the world. One path requires physical strength, focus, and other male traits. The other path just is. Chrysicola is the crystal of silence, the governing crystal of the feminine way of power. The masculine equal is chrysoprase. Hold one in each hand until they balance each other. If Chrysicola can't keep your feet out of your mouth, you may just need to glue your mouth shut. Chrysicola is a powerful channeling stone, let's see, that keeps you conscious of all that takes place. A gift that when coupled with black coral opens the doors to the ascended masters in a profound way. It infuses truth and strength into the voice and can open the psychic abilities. Chrysocolla is a direct contact stone for Archangel Mary and Ascended Lady Nada, and it will open doors to the goddess Isis, Mut, Aphrodite, and Artemis. At the physical body, Chrysocolla is a stone for all manner of female reproductive issues and imbalances. It is useful before, during, and after childbirth, able to tone, heal, and soothe the tissues. Chrysocolla decreases stress and any ailments stemming from it, including digestive imbalance and shoulder tension. If Chrysocolla has made her way into your life today, I'm going to hold this up again. Her presence usually relates to the recognition of your feminine side and her pathways of growth. It is possible that you have developed a dependence on the masculine methods of living, and it is time to step back into yourself, trust, and feel that which really resides in you. Release your attempts to control and change the external world. The goddess is on your doorstep. Will you take her hand? Real change is that which leads to the discovery of the divine inner self. Sit a while and recognize your greatest achievement is not in the world. It was what you sacrificed to be in the world at birth. Let me read that again because that was confusing. Sit a while and recognize your greatest achievement is not in the world. It was what you sacrificed to be in the world at birth. Chrysocolla time is a time of inner truth that, if embraced, will lead to inner peace and the birth of a divine new life for us all. Battles are best fought within self if anyone is ever to be victorious and the world returned to peace. And it's funny because peace was the card on the very end of the deck that I didn't mention at the end of the Quantum Oracle. And the affirmation is, I am the power of silence. So work with this to heal and activate your feminine energies, to help you to become more empathetic, more open, more receptive if receptivity has been an issue for you, to balance out overdoing it, overexertion, over anywhere where you're trying to force outcomes or energies, and too far in the masculine. Use this to help you lean more deeply back into the feminine. We talk a lot about feminine power as well as power with versus power over. And this is how I've been learning to manifest and create lately, is by going within and shifting my vibration in my internal world to become that point of attraction, as opposed to working mostly in the physical world, which is the more masculine way of manifesting. Oh, I love that, Jazzy Faye. Yeah. Malachite's one of my favorites too, guys. Oh, no kidding. Kiana says, where you find chrysocolla, you find malachite and copper also. They know when they see it, miners know when they see it, that malachite and copper are present. That's really fascinating. Their energies must work synergistically together. Malachite is mentioned here. It says close friends of chrysocolla are silver, moonstone, pearl, malachite, rhodonite, amethyst, and azurite. Hold on, you guys. I'm checking a minute here. I'm going to read this for you guys too. I think this is interesting. It's called the Space of Silence exercise. And it says, place chrysocolla in your dominant hand, which is typically the one you write with, and chrysoprase in your other hand, and green calcite on your heart chakra. And if you don't have these, you can program a clear quartz to take on these qualities. Then it says, take a nice big breath and go inward. Ask the aspects of yourself that serve your outer world to come forward. See them as aspects, attitudes, and mannerisms. Then let them go to their outer world where they are happy. As these energies leave you, feel and experience emptiness where they once were. Sit, listen, breathe, and affirm your name. I am blank. I am blank. Over and over like a mantra. Allow the empty spaces to fill themselves in. Don't define them, give them names or purpose. Just allow and know. And it says, do this at the start and end of each day, ideally for 21 days. Interesting. I don't know why I felt called to read that. Maybe somebody wants to do that. It kind of goes with that energy of letting go, right? And then we have azurite on the bottom of the deck. So this is to assist in focus And it looks like channeling those higher energies, opening up psychic perceptions, I would imagine as well. Azurite, I believe that is, yeah, I believe that's the crystal. One of the most powerful crystals for psychic senses and perception, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to look this up real quick. Let's see. Azurite is a principal remedy of focus, a title that it holds via its ability to link the subconscious and conscious minds together in united action. Ooh. Its ability with the mental levels of self can transform hidden aspects such as fears and the real reasons for illness into clear understanding, readying them for its closest friend, Malachite, to clear permanently out of the bodies. Throughout all of Azurite's mental activities, the spiritual and intuitive touch of the higher self is added for guidance, which accelerates decision-making and removes limitations. Let's see. Oh, the orange ray is hidden deep within this stone as well. Let's see. So let me see here. The orange is never seen with physical eyes, but it is easy to feel when azurite activates within the body, linking the lower sacral chakra area to the third eye. This energy is very oriental and is often referred to as the Tan Tien. It is birthed in the sacral area and takes a figure of 8 pattern, looping out the front and back of the body via the heart chakra and through the third eye. I think I've seen this. It's similar to the Ankh. Like there's something with the Egyptians with the Ankh, looping the energy of the Ankh through the body that this is reminding me of. Oh, here we go. Let me keep reading. This links the sacral and the third eye areas of the body together, allowing accurate communication. Azurite is the keeper of this ancient wisdom, which is powerful in tantric practice, and the activation of spiritual aspects of self, including the third eye. Its Egyptian correspondence would be the sacred Ankh, the Egyptian cross. This dynamic, warm energy hidden in azurite allows it most of its more physical healing abilities, where it will remove blockages, congestions, and growths from any area while simultaneously aligning the spine. All right, let me see what else we want to read about this. So something within the subconscious wants to be realized, wants to be understood, so that it can be brought to a level of conscious awareness and healed. It also indicates the need to unite the mental self into action with focused purpose. The basis of this energy is truth with self, which will activate the wisdom, focus, self-love, and elder pathways of action to get the job done. Let's see. It helps to open you up to infinite possibilities, delivering your sacred path into the world. Expect greatness from yourself, and so it will be, but focus on one thing physically. It opens up infinite doors for the spirit to work its magic. No focus, no one gains. Your choice. I choose truth, and it never lets me down. Let it be your guide. With azurite as your guide, you are being offered the chance to do something very special. When the inspiration comes, take fearless action. And the affirmation is, I am focused. My spirit has a voice of purpose. So that's really powerful. Helping us to reveal those subconscious blocks, to move past those unconscious fears, to take that inspired action when it is necessary. And that practice with the Ankh or with the figure 8, moving it through the chakras, I'm really glad that came back into my awareness because I had forgotten all about that. That's powerful. All right. Oh, Wally, that's very sweet. Lots of time just spent learning and observing and reading and being, right? All right. I love you all so much. And welcome, by the way, Daisy Cutter. This channel is about spiritual awakening activation. It's all about healing and growth and self-realization. It is about ascension and this process of raising our frequency and our consciousness. We examine this from many angles. We look at the planets, the astrology, the portals, and all the other energies that are converging to assist us in this divine awakening process. Clear. And we are here to support each other in that. I feel like saying process again is redundant, but that's the best word for it. So we're here to help support each other in our awakening journey. Yeah. Welcome. I'm so glad to see you. Oh, guten Tag. Are you German? I love that. We've got a couple German natives on here today. Didn't we have somebody else, or they said they love Germany maybe? Well, welcome. We're so happy to have you here with us. Yes, I have family who's German. All right. So you say danke and I say bitte, right? And that means you're welcome. Yes, danke schön, bitte schön. I know that, and I know ich liebe dich. Then we have Charorite individuation on the bottom of the deck. Clear. And ich liebe dich means I love you. Ooh, look at this. Look at hematite. I've never seen that one before. Look at all the colors in that. That's powerful. Richtig. What does richtig mean? That's a new one to me. Richtig. Sympathetic? I mean, I think so. Would that be similar to saying empathetic? That idea? Clear. I hope that you join us for another live stream. We are just completing right now for today. 111. But we are here every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless otherwise noted in the community section. So please join us for another live stream. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't yet. Daisy Cutter and anybody else who is new. And hello, Plume, by the way. I see you there. We would love to have you on another live stream. You're all so beautiful. I appreciate you so much. Have an amazing equinox. And I'll see you guys. I think we'll connect again before the solar eclipse, probably a few days before. So we shall see what that energy brings. All right. So much love to you all. Everybody new, everybody coming in. You're all beautiful. You're all beautiful. Much love. Bye.